What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the time the Royal Marines forced the U.S. Marines to surrender. So, here in the United States, it's no secret that we are very, very proud of our military. And on top of that, we really like to win. But, even we have to learn a lesson in humility, I suppose. I've never heard about this before. So today, I really want to check out this video by Defense Military Report about when the Royal Marines got the best of the US Marines. So let's take a look.
The Royal Marines dominated United States forces during a training exercise in California, using a new battle structure.
Oh, okay. I was really wondering, what the context of this whole surrender thing was. Because, yeah, I had no idea. This is a training exercise? Oh, wow. Wow. You gotta think that when it's like one nation versus another, one military versus another, there's a lot of pride on the line. Besides the training and the seriousness of learning and getting used to this stuff and all the training, there's gotta be a lot of pride on the line when there's training exercises like this. Wow. So it was the Royal Marines versus the U.S. Marines in this training simulation, I guess, and we lost.
Royal Marines are taking on their comrades from the United States Marine Corps in the wilds of the Californian desert as they prepare for operations as part of a new task group.
Right.
A new High Readiness
Okay.
Force, Littoral Response Group South, is to be built around Taunton-based 4O Commando and will focus on the regions east of the Suez Canal, ready to respond to global events.
This is really cool. It's actually, ego aside, it's really, really cool to see the US and the UK and the Royal Marines and the US Marines working together with all these training and these simulations, and that's really cool. And it's all for a very, very real, serious reason. And they're preparing for missions and stuff. So that's actually really awesome.
To ensure the commando element of the group are ready for deployment next year, the Marines must first complete Exercise Green Dagger in the Mojave Desert alongside the United States and Netherlands Marine Corps.
Oh, wow.
The exercises across sun-scorched deserts will test the Marines in a number of warfighting skills and their ability to work effectively with their Dutch counterparts who also form part of the Littoral Response Group.
This is amazing. I've never watched anything like this before. This military, super realistic combat training. They're literally in a desert together, figuring this stuff out, getting ready. It's really cool.
The conclusion of the exercises, known as Green Dagger, was 5 days of grueling warfighting which saw Allied forces from the United States, Canada, United Arab Emirates, the Netherlands and United Kingdom join forces to take on a highly equipped United States Marine Corps adversary.
So there were a lot of different countries in on this. This was like a huge sort of collective of countries doing this training in the desert and stuff. And eventually it got to this exercise where it was the Royal Marines versus the U.S. Marines.
Green Dagger will culminate in a free-play battle, in which Dutch and British Marines will work together against the might of the United States Marine Corps to evaluate the effectiveness of each of the Allied forces.
Okay.
The exercises are taking place at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center at 29 Palms, which covers an area similar in size to Luxembourg in the Californian deserts.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. I had no idea this kind of stuff was even going on, where they have these mock battles in these areas that are as big as a city and these fake buildings and stuff. It's pretty. Honestly, it makes a ton of sense. Like, this is how you would prepare for real life combat, but it's pretty cool. And there's a whole lot of nothing, too, in the desert.
Royal Marines have put the seal on desert exercises with an intensive 5-day battle in California alongside allies across one of the largest military training areas in the world.
Oh, wow.
Commandos have spent the last 2 months in the Mojave Desert preparing for deployments next year as part of the newly formed Littoral Response Group, which is one of 2 new Royal Navy task groups centered on commando forces set up to respond to world events.
Wow.
Under reforms directed by the First Sea Lord, Admiral Sir Tony Radakan, Royal Marines commando forces are to become more flexible and mobile fighting troops.
Sure. This is pretty serious stuff. Like, all joking aside, I know it's kind of like... It actually would have been more fun to see, like, the Royal Marines versus the U.S. Marines and not know who's going to win. But knowing that, like, you know, my side is going to lose kind of takes a little bit of the excitement out of it. But it's all, like, for an amazing cause here.
Experts from across 3 Commando Brigade came together to form the Littoral Response Group, with Taunton-based 4O Commando at its heart at the vast United States Marine Corps training facility at 29 Palms in California. The exercise focused around 3 urban sprawls which were defended by Allied forces, the largest of which consisting of 1,200 buildings purpose-built for militaries to test themselves among.
That is unbelievable. So I don't know if they have, like, video of it. I think at the beginning they had, like, this picture, like this thing. So they were, like, battling out in something kind of like this, or maybe this is it, in, like, literally a pretend city that they've purpose built for these kinds of training. It's pretty unbelievable.
Militaries to test themselves among. The regiment has formed combat service support troops that deploy at range and are isolated from direct chain of command, working independently to keep supplies of food and ammunition flowing.
Oh,
The
wow.
troops have been established to allow Commando Logistic Regiment to be in more places at once, while also continuing to make use of the Armored Support Troop, which provides force protection and moves Marines around the battlefield.
Holy cow. This is incredibly realistic. This is all, we're just talking about a training exercise, but we're talking about, like, where they're positioning themselves, how they're attacking, how the supply chains are, like, configured, and they get extraordinarily detailed in this training, which, again, you know, makes a ton of sense because this is pretty serious.
Additionally, Commando Logistic Regiment are also continuing to develop their 3D printing capability, which helps provide battle damage repair options on the front line.
Oh, wow.
The Littoral Response Group won decisive battles early on and gained ground from their enemy, but, with the United States Marines pushing into Allied territory, Royal Marines and their allies carried out raids behind enemy lines to stop further counterattacks.
Wow. 3D printing? Like on the battlefield? For repairs? And so 3D printing is not just for, you know, printing out a frog-shaped coaster. Like, it has serious military applications. Oh my god.
Our success has proved the new Commando Force concept is more lethal and sophisticated than ever before, and I am immensely proud of every member of the Littoral Response Group and their vital contributions, said Lieutenant Colonel Andy Dow, Commanding Officer of 4O Commando. Operating alongside our partners from the United States, Netherlands, Canada and the United Arab Emirates gives us a fantastic opportunity to test, integrate and continue to push our capabilities in new and innovative directions.
Yeah.
Throughout this deployment,
Yeah, I mean, this is an amazing opportunity just for everybody. It's amazing to see all these countries working together, and I'm so happy to see the United States as a part of it. Like, it's good for everybody doing stuff like this.
our focus has been on integrating game-changing capabilities from across the Commando Force to deliver disproportional effect in the face of a free-thinking peer adversary. The exercise concluded with a last-minute enemy assault which was repelled, leaving Allied forces in control of over 2/3 of the entire battlefield.
Oh, wow.
The Commandos took advantage of one of the best military training areas in the world to experiment with new tactics and share knowledge with allies.
Uh-huh. Are they going to talk about these tactics, or that'd be kind of cool? Like, if the U.S. Marines are going to get defeated or have to surrender in this training simulation, I kind of want to know like the details of how it happened. Oh my God! Wow.
Marine Sean McGrath from 4O Commando said, "This is the first time I've been to the States and worked alongside the US and the Dutch. Seeing how they operate and how we can work together has been really rewarding.
Wow.
It's been fantastic to work in one of the best training environments in the world. 29 Palms is absolutely huge and offers pretty much every type of training possible. We can train across terrains, in cities and with so much capable kit, I can see why we come here."
That's really cool to hear like some of the testimonies from like the British troops and some of the people who are actually there doing this, and how much they thought like this training is taking place in the United States, so it's cool that we can like share that with our allies and stuff.
This deployment has ultimately readied the commando element of Littoral Response Group South for operations next year, joining its sister task group, Littoral Response Group North, ready to react to unfolding events around the world.
Yeah, this is like very legit, serious. And a lot of the quotes here are talking about how this training really got everyone prepared for the real mission.
While on the periphery it would seem largely like the much more cumbersome and bulkier logistic task group of old, it is a much smaller, more agile and potent force and is designed to deliver a more tactically astute support, said Major Matt Williams, in command of the Landing Force Support Squadron and Logistic Task Group, of the Commando Logistic Regiment offering on Green Dagger. We have come a long way since starting this journey in earnest last year. We've seen the regiment deploy both combat service support troops and armored support troop on 2 separate occasions, while also preparing for the forthcoming winter deployment in Norway and generating the first troop aligned to the Littoral Response Group South early next year.
Oh my God.
The Littoral Response Group North has already deployed to the Baltic this year and has a focus on events across Europe, while Littoral Response Group South will operate east of the Suez Canal.
Jeez. Okay, they're not just preparing for like one mission or what, the Green Dagger or whatever it was called. This training is like, and there's a lot of countries involved here. They're getting deployed to all different parts of the world and all sorts of different missions around the world. This is obviously a very serious training exercise. It sounded like for some of them, they've been doing this like for a year or something up to that.
The Littoral Response Group South is expected to be functional next year with the addition of amphibious ships and aircraft.
Wow. Here's the buildings. And the helicopters! I mean, they are literally simulating battle, war. Wow. Oh my God. Oh look, you can see their guns have, for one thing, you can't shoot them, which is good. This is amazing. This is how the training works. They all have guns, they all have all the equipment, there's helicopters, there's missiles, there's, well, not actual missiles, but being fired, but, and the guns, like the barrels are shut, and there's no bullets in them, and yeah, makes a lot of sense. What would be really cool, and I wouldn't even doubt it, is if the guns shoot like a laser or some kind of signal that lets you know if you've been hit, like laser tag or something. I guarantee they've got something like that. Wow. Oh, wow. I would want that to be me. I would volunteer to be the injured guy. You know what? Practice carrying me off the battlefield while I relax, Wow. This is pretty amazing. This is legit. Oh, wow. got the on-field ambulance going. Is that about it? Okay. That's awesome that they had like some actual, some video of the training exercise. I know it must be difficult to like get actual video of this training. I don't know if it's confidential or what, but you can't show too much, I imagine. This was really cool. Respect to the U.S. Marines, or respect to the U.S. Marines, but also respect to the Royal Marines. You kind of have to, because you guys like defeated us in this training exercise. But really, the real winners, not to sound cliche, was everybody, because we're all a bunch of different nations are coming together, working together, and it's not about like winning or losing in these sorts of training exercises. It's making sure everybody is helping each other and getting prepared for, because your life is going to be in danger and you're relying on these different partners to help you prepare. And on a side note, I'm sure there was some pride for the Royal Marines defeating us. So, respect to you guys for that. And this was just really cool to actually just learn about all the different aspects that go into this. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of this amazing training that's going on with the UK and the US. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and seeing British things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.